Welcome to the show, beautiful people. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 7 to 8 p.m. or go to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Xen to watch fully uploaded episodes as of Monday morning. Please make sure to follow me on social media at Xen Sams with an X. That's Xen with an X. And you can also text the word collaboration or feature me to 917-575-2321. Again, that number is 917-575-2321. Today's show is brought to you by Romulus Entertainment, Biche Cucina, and of course the amazing designs of Helen Yarmack International. Best furs and fine stylish jewelry right here in the heart of NYC on 5th Avenue and 52nd Street. Also welcoming to the show, The Moment of Xen, we have sponsor Revere Securities, NYC's very own and trusted band of investment bankers and brokers, none other than them. Revere Securities, also here in Midtown Manhattan. Ocean Casino and Resort has also jumped on board as a sponsor, kicking off the summer season with a bang, to say the least. I will be in Atlantic City once a month, starting in June, and I'm excited to get ready for a huge summer kickoff with AC being the hotspot destination, as the Hamptons seem to be so overcrowded and saturated, tons of attitude, long lines, so I'm shifting my focus. Ocean Casino is an amazing property. I'll be doing a whole segment next week on the best spots and best places to go this summer in Atlantic City. But today we have a great show. My friend Christina Lurie is stopping by. She's a film producer, a philanthropist, and minority owner, are you ready, of the NFL Philadelphia's Eagle. Her multifaceted career spans across not just sports and entertainment, but also philanthropy. And I'm going to be so excited to be chatting with her. She's coming on soon. Can't wait to pick her brain and gain some insight into those amazing career paths that she's had along her way and explore. Currently, she's on a movie set, and where she's at, she's in London. She's going to be zooming in from there. Another great treat, Kyle Wool is coming by with his good friend Lukas. Kyle is a president at Revere Wealth Management. He's also going to be doing our business bumps that you're going to be hearing more from him often. And he's coming on with his friend and client, Lukas Barwinski Brown. And he's the CEO of Lang Lang International Music Foundation, which was started in 2008. And their mission is to educate, inspire, and motivate the next generation of music lovers, especially kids. I'll also cover some fashion news and give you guys my movie pick of the week. And of course, we have Sari Katz, my trusted dermatologist and good friend, co-founder at Lurie Medical, a concierge service here in NYC that comes to your home and provides medical services. And the best part, they also provide aesthetic services. So from blood work to Botox, in the spot of your home, in the comfort of your own home, basically door to door in New York State. She's going to be delivering your beauty tip of the week. But coming up, we have my very good friend, actor Johnny Messner. He's coming on. He's originally from Syracuse, New York, but he's been living in LA for as long as I've known him. As an actor, he's probably best known for his work in the films Tears of the Sun, The Whole 10 Yards, and Hostage. Johnny has been through a ton in his life, but he has an incredible comeback story. He's a dad to two twin boys, so we're going to chat about his battle with addiction and how he faced his demons and overcame all of that, flipped it around, and basically is now on his next chapter. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. You're listening to Xen Sams on A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
One of the world's most recognized fashion designers is Helen Yarmack. She turned a small clothing line to an international fashion brand and is one of the few independent luxury fashion houses in the industry. Her designs for men and women are timeless and they outlast changing trends, yet they stay adaptable to your individual style. Helen's goal for her clients is to express their individual uniqueness and beauty. To learn more about her offerings, visit HelenYarmack.com or to schedule an appointment, call 212-245-0777.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Now, welcoming to the show, we have my very good friend, Johnny Messner. But before I bring him on officially, let me give you some backstory here. He's a dear friend of mine. He's originally from Syracuse, New York. And as an actor, Johnny's probably best known for his work in the films Tears of the Sun, The Whole 10 Yards, and Hostage. and in the TV series Guiding Light. He's going to kill me for pointing that out. All the way back with his good friend Frank Grillo and the young Hayden Panettiere. Then he's moved on and transitioned to so many more and bigger important roles. And more recently, he appeared in Jane the Virgin as Chuck Chester, I think, right back in 2017. And he is not just that, but he's a dad to two incredible twin boys, Jameson West and Rocco McQueen. And he shares these beautiful boys with the beautiful Catherine Morris. Now it seems like you are riding the next wave, producing with Bruce Willis. Welcome to the show, Johnny.
Hey, Xen, thanks for having me. Stoked to be here.
Well, you know what? Can you fill us in? What's this next chapter? Are you currently acting? Are you producing? I heard some buzz about Bruce Willis being your partner. Fill us in.
Yeah, I have transitioned mostly to producing. I act if it's something that I really enjoy, but I just got put in this box and I was playing the same guy over and over, and it just becomes so monotonous. There's nothing for me to really do. I also have shifted as a human, so I don't have that darkness that I had before to play all those roles. So I try to steer away from most of that. But yeah, producing is my new thing. I'm working a lot with Bruce, and my partner's Corey Large, and we've done 6 movies since COVID, right before COVID started.
6 movies. Wow, that's a lot given the circumstances and how hard it is to get things sold in the current market, especially in the film industry. What movies are those?
Let's see. We did Breach, Cosmic Sin, American Siege, Gasoline Alley, Reactor, and there's one more. Paradise City.
That's all of these movies are in what genre?
Action.
Action.
Oh,
are
action.
Are you in any
action
of these?
Thriller. Yeah, I'm in a few of them. I'll put myself in if it'll save us money. If it saves us money.
If it saves you money. Now, all right, let's tell the audience a little bit of how, you and I are really good friends. We've worked on some projects on the protocol together, and we've gone way back with family and work. And I knew you at a time where you were a very different Johnny Messner. You were battling some demons of sorts. And although you had come into your own, so to speak, it was kind of a very, it was a transformational time for you. Can you walk us through what happened from the time where you had your boys up until now? I mean, there was a lot. Let's catch us up.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, when Jameson and Rocco came into the world, I was at a place in my life that I didn't have any self-love, and I was looking for anything to find that to fill all the holes that I had inside me that I didn't know what that was stemming from. And when the boys were born, it was the first time I saw my original DNA because I was adopted, and it just kind of sent me right over a lack of self-worth and thinking I didn't deserve any of this, and they shouldn't have me as a father, all of those things. That eventually just manifested itself into a darker space. And, I had for years with work, and I would always get to this level at work and look for it to be the savior or that bringer of my happiness. Every time that I would get to this pinnacle part of my career, I would still be empty. And so I'd be on to the next before I even finished what I was there. Where I was into the future before I was, I wasn't anywhere near where I was at that time. And every time I would hit that benchmark, it would still be emptiness. And eventually I was so lost because I didn't know what was going to fill those holes. And I just increased my intake of, drugs and alcohol, which was just a subsidiary of the darkness that I was carrying inside me. And from the time that I saw you, I was just beginning on oxycodone, and that was the end to the beginning to the end of all of it. But it was, it ended up being perfect. Because I'm here now, but I had to go to a 1-bedroom in North Hollywood in the barrio by myself with a phone that never rang and never saw my sons and had no relationship with anything, to get to the place that I was in a place of surrender.
Our beliefs create our reality, and our life is a reflection of our internal state. And if you don't like the recurring theme that that one is experiencing in one's life, you have to heal aspects of yourself that are creating these undesired outcomes. And if we see our challenges the right way, we're going to see them as a call to transform ourselves. And when we wake up to our unique gifts and begin to consciously create the life that we desire, then that's when that new chapter comes in. And I feel like for you, you had to lose it all to be able to appreciate and gain and really work for it hard the right way to have it back in a more everlasting way. And bringing us to you've met a soulmate of sorts. Her name is Avril, and of course, with every transformation, there comes somebody that's either shepherded the way for us or who's helped us, during those times of darkness. And we were talking before that she was one of those highlights. Tell us about that.
Yes, she is the highlight, except for, the cracking open of the heart and all the self-love that's coming. But that's a lot to do with through her. Literally, it was the first time that I went down to Costa Rica to do plant medicine. And it was her first time there, unbeknownst to me, obviously. And we stayed right next door to each other. And we went through a week of transformation and bearing soul and connecting to soul, and hardest work Gila I've ever done and will ever do. And just had this connection as friends initially, and then just slowly but surely we're just talking when we left there, and I saw her 3 months after, and that was it. And she has been the light around my light, and has helped my light blossom, flourish beyond levels that I even know were possible.
Well, I believe in divine intelligence and listening to the powerful force within, so to speak. And I'm not really aligned with any particular religion specifically or tradition other than abiding by karmic laws. But I feel like when the timing is right, the universe opens up and everything happens for a reason. Tell us about this plant medicine.
So ayahuasca is the plant medicine that I went and did, and it it's from it's from South America and Central America, and they're all different tribes, and they all have different brews that they make, and they call it particles of God. And what it did for me was it reconnected me with my soul. It also it's opposite day when you're doing it, and there's a lot of purging that goes on to get rid of all that crystallized energy that you've had for lifetime, and also it's getting rid of ancestry programming and thoughts of self and perception, and it saved my life, and it put me on this path of the knowing and the unbreakable faith that I've always been taken care of. I could go on for hours about it, but it literally connected me back to my soul and showed me how much more there really is, and what a small little snippet on our forever journey that this really is.
It's interesting you say that, because I've also had my share of experiences there in that part of the region in Costa Rica. And, there are many limiting subconscious thought patterns and negative emotions that are really the result of our past hurts, and releasing this old conditioning, so to speak, and changing negative core values and adopting a self-loving perspective. Those are integral parts of healing ourselves. And you went through this transformation, and you are now at a very different place. What advice do you have to give to a lot of people who are facing addiction out there? We've all faced some level of addiction in our lives. We all, no one's perfect. And I think the most incredible thing to do is to take the negative experiences that we've had and turn them into powerful learning curves. What advice do you have for people out there right now, currently in the pandemic, facing demons and addiction and feeling like they can't get out of it?
Yeah. First, I want to, send my compassion to them, because I know what that looks like and feels like. And it seems hopeless. It really does. And this might not sit well with some people, and hopefully it resonates with others, but know that the addiction, whatever it looks like, from food to sex to drugs to alcohol, whatever it is, it's really just a subsidiary, almost like whatever, obviously it's a coping mechanism, but it's not a coping, it's a coping mechanism for something much more deeply rooted. And all you have to do is ask for help, and there's so much help out there. But I do know that you have to get to a place where you want it. And if you don't get to that place, nobody can help you. And so I will, I always pray for those people out there, and I know what the suffering looks like, but there is so much more. The wound is where the light comes in, Rumi. And I remember that all the time, because of the addiction, I now have the space and the chance to do nothing but help others, and to be able to understand what that looks like. So as weird as it sounds, I'm really grateful for it. And I know that
that doesn't sound weird at all. I mean, listen, these are words of wisdom, essentially, because to be able to admit your weaknesses and to be able to draw from them, that's exceptional in and of itself. And I think that you're speaking to not just a small group of people, but a very large group of people out there, because mental health disorder is a real thing, a huge thing in America, and no one is really talking about it. But listen, Johnny, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I can't wait to have you back on, and we can go on, but we're limited to some time frames here. You guys could check Johnny Messner out, definitely on Instagram. That's where I follow you, Johnny, Messner, Johnny Messner. And do you have a website, Johnny?
I don't. I did quickly just want to pitch that I'm doing a conscious content side, and we're doing a doc called Crazy, and right on point with what we're talking about. It's what is crazy and what's going on about it, because mental health is the next pandemic. And so when that's done, I look forward to speaking with you on that.
Absolutely. And we're going to have you come back on, and we'll talk about that. And of course, remember the protocol. That's what we worked on, which was another play on mental health disorders. So we have tons to talk about. Thank you for coming on the show, Johnny. I really appreciate it. You guys are listening to A Moment of Xen. I'm your host, Xen Sams, right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
Your Moment of Xen movie pick of the week is Georgetown, and it's brought to you by Romulus Entertainment. Home alone on a Friday night and in need of a good riveting movie? Well, check out Georgetown, all right? Georgetown is inspired and based on the New York Times Magazine article, The Worst Marriage in Georgetown by Franklin Foer, which is the true story of the murder of Viola Herms-Drath, who was a DC socialite and a notable figure in the German-American relations. Georgetown follows the story of her second husband, an eccentric and smooth-talking social climber who seems to have everyone in Washington, D.C. wrapped around his finger. But when his wealthy, well-connected, and much older wife turns up dead in their home, her daughter Amanda suspects Ulrich may not be all that he seems, as the police investigation begins to uncover a larger deception that goes far deeper than anyone ever imagined. The cast list is some of Hollywood's finest: Django Unchained's Christoph Waltz, Lee Daniels, The Butlers, Vanessa Redgrave, Captain Marvel's Annette Bening, and The Walking Dead's Corey Hawkins. Now, here's a fun fact. Christoph Waltz also directed the film. Now, if you don't take my word on his film and what the critics are saying about it, well, guess what The Observer said? The Observer's Rex Reed states, the acting is first rate from start to finish, but it's Mr. Waltz who keeps it flowing. The Hollywood Reporter, John DeFore, stated, it's the kind of serious but broadly appealing, modestly scaled picture that people love to say doesn't exist anymore. Big Apple Reviews' Harvey S. Carteen said, Christoph Waltz is so charming that you may feel sorry that his defense attorneys could not win a not guilty verdict, but you don't have to take their word for it. You can just watch it yourself. The movie is available for streaming as of May 14th. That was your movie pick of the week, brought to you by Romulus Entertainment.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Xen Sams, and welcoming to the show now we have Christina Lurie. Her multifaceted career spans the worlds of not only sports, but entertainment and philanthropy. She's a film producer, she's a philanthropist, and a minority owner of the NFL's Philadelphia Eagles. She's president of the Eagles Youth Partnership, the team's charitable foundation. She's a graduate of Yale University, has long worked as an independent filmmaker, winning 2 Oscars, not 1, 2 Oscars as a film producer. That's so cool. She won one for Inside Job in 2011, which tackles the consequences of systematic corruption of the U.S. by the financial services industry, and Innocent in 2003, which features the struggles of a homeless, undocumented teen. So both very timely issues here. She's definitely been on the ball and on the money throughout her entire career. Welcoming now fellow mom to the show, Christina. What an honor to have you. Thank you for joining us all the way from London.
Thank you, Xen, for having me. I'm excited that you're doing this show.
It's a privilege to have a voice like yours, to highlight a trailblazer of a woman. You have been a driving force in the Eagles' involvement in the important causes of breast cancer and environmental awareness. What made you pick those 2 causes specifically?
Well, I'm going to go back a little bit. You know, I've been really lucky to be able to wear these different hats that you so, kindly mentioned. And I was raised in a family, where, we talk about, women having these glass ceilings. And the reality is I was born in Mexico, and then I grew up in London. And I had a father who had the same expectations for me as he had for my brother. So he just wanted us to be truly curious and to follow our aspirations, inspirations, passions. So it gave me an ability to understand one's strengths and to also use those strengths accordingly, right? And so back to the Eagles. Well, that was sort of an incredibly roundabout way of, that my life took. I met my now ex-husband in LA working on a film. I brought him I Love You to Death, which was a true story that had actually happened in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And his company ended up making the film, and that's how we got together. And but his passion was sports, and I had grown up in London, where Chelsea, the English football team, was the team that I rooted, but I had never a clue. I had never come close to anything to do with American football. But his passion became my passion because I realized how invested he was in that world. And then we moved to Philadelphia when he bought the team, and I realized what an incredible platform we had, with the team. It had a massive outreach to thousands of people with the most, excited fan base imaginable, an amazing fan base. And that was that was 1994. And in the late 90s, we started becoming aware of, the environment, I wouldn't call it global warming, but that's what it was called then. Now it's, climate change. And I realized that we could really do something about that with the team. Al Gore's film An Inconvenient Truth had come out, and everybody was really becoming aware of, what kind of a planet are we going to leave our children? What can we do? And so I decided to get educated because I really didn't know anything about it. And we were building a new stadium, which opened in 2003. And when we went through our budget, our electricity bill was huge. And we realized, okay, let's figure out what we can do. And so we created Go Green and collaborated with tons and tons of vendors and partners to figure out all the best practices that we could do, with our stadium, with the team, with the players. And that led us down the road, our sustainability road.
Well, you did this Go Green initiative. It was groundbreaking, and it was really a great cause. I mean, to better the environment by creating and sustaining these programs, and many of them, right? Many programs that were specifically to improve the quality of life in the Philadelphia region, which you did almost single-handedly. So thank you.
Oh, single-handedly.
Well, it was your initiative, and it took a woman to really push, because that was not something that was at the forefront of any man's brain back then. I could promise you that.
Well, when it started to become a good business option where we were actually saving money.
Oh, then they listened.
Exactly.
Of course. But that's how it always is, Christina. Now, how important is it to teach our children the importance of caring for our planet? Because I know that you have a daughter, Milena, is that right? If I remember correctly, she's a filmmaker.
Yeah, I have two. I'm very lucky. I have two great children.
Yeah, and you have a son, Julian, and he went to Harvard, correct?
He did.
There you go. So very impressive. Both your children are not only impressive in their schooling, but I mean, have great values. And I'm sure they're all about the planet.
Well, that's, as mothers, right? You try and ground your children. And it can be really difficult. And I also, I'm lucky that I didn't have children. I look back at these past 18 months, or the past with COVID, and what it must be like to have young children, and as you are, having to homeschool and do everything at home, and not have, and the implications in terms of emotional intelligence also for children. So yeah, I'm really lucky that I have two well-rounded, grounded kids.
Well, it all begins with a well-grounded, rounded mama, and that is exactly what you are. And you're such an example, not just to me, but to so many women out there who are listening to you, who have been following your career, who know how philanthropic you are, but also how artistic you are, bringing us to, you're all the way in London right now. And I know that we're having a little bit of a Wi-Fi connection issue. Sometimes we're cutting in and out. So I do apologize to our listeners for that. We're trying very desperately to make sure that the connection is as solid as we can make it. But of course, technology these days. So with about 2 minutes left, Christina, why don't you tell us what you're working on right now, and what website and or Instagram page people can look up to follow you in your films in the next chapter?
Oh my goodness, I am so not technology. I'm not going to say savvy, but driven, in the sense that I haven't set up an Instagram page other than for super close friends. I get worried that the world is spying on us, and I try and stay as private as possible.
You're probably right. They are spying on us. But what about the film that you're working on right now?
Film, I'm in London. We are 10 days from starting to shoot Persuasion, one of Jane Austen's books. And I'm so excited to be working again. And I feel incredibly lucky that RC and Netflix are funding our film. And we have an amazing young English theater director. This is going to be her first feature. And we have Dakota Johnson as our lead, and Henry Golding playing Mr. Elliot, and Cosmo Jarvis playing Wentworth. So we're excited.
That's such an incredible cast. Wow. You are always working with A-listers. One day I will be so privileged to work with you. But Christina, what advice can you give to other actors, writers out there that are sitting at home thinking, COVID is never going to allow me to, get out there and audition again, or they're feeling very stressed about their careers? I have seen a silver lining here. What about yourself?
I think it's, there are opportunities. We've seen the Netflixes of the world, the Amazons, all these streaming services. What you're doing here, I think there's an opportunity to write, to create your own shows, to put out content, to think outside the box, to be creative. I'm not saying it's easy. It's incredibly difficult, but everybody's is constantly, no one has spent more time looking at content than the world around us and over the last 14, 16 months. I mean, the number of series that we've been able to enjoy, the number of films that have come out, I think it just shows that there's a real need for voices, different subject matters. And those are the words that I can come up with.
And wiser words have actually been spoken very rarely, because that is the silver lining. Take this situation and run with it. Even the Moment of Xen was developed during the pandemic, so I'm always taking clues from the universe. But Christina, it's been such a pleasure talking with you. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that we can chat again. And everybody, this is Christina Lurie. She is not just your average. She is one of those career women that spans the world of sports, entertainment, and philanthropy, owner of the NFL Philadelphia Eagles, but also film producer and fellow mom. Thank you for joining the show. It's been such a pleasure talking with you.
Thank you, Xen.
You're listening to Xen Sams right here on 710 WOR. We'll be right back after this.
If you've missed out dining in New York City for the past year, it's time to visit the legendary Vice Cucina. Located in the heart of Midtown, Vice specializes in blending delicious Northern Italian and American cuisine with dishes such as the incredible taglione lobster, ravioli masala, ossobuco, and pappardelle al telefono, along with many other mouthwatering offerings. You deserve a great night out. Call Vice Cucina 212-757-2600 or online at vicecucina.com.
Welcome back, beautiful people. You're listening to A Moment of Xen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. I'm your host, Xen Sams. Now, what's in a song? Well, a lot when it comes to early childhood classroom, whether used to build community during circle time, to introduce or reinforce a concept, to transition children from one activity to another, or to offer opportunities for creativity and self-expression, music and movement are definitely critical components of childhood teaching. When children sing and move, they develop tools for self-regulation and emotional connection, and their enjoyment helps them cope with daily life events. Take it from me, my daughter is 5.5 and is absolutely all about her music. Music and movement also help children learn and grow across other developmental domains. And joyful and engaging music, now remember, I'm saying joyful and engaging music and movement activities are essential to a comprehensive early learning program. And this is important for our schools. Now, I used to play classical music throughout my entire pregnancy. It would get Alexa to stop kicking when she was in the womb. And when she was born, I continued using Mozart baby lullabies to get her to sleep. And to this day, she's music trained. So when it comes to sleeping, all I have to do is turn on the Mozart lullabies, and within 5 minutes, she's out. She asks for her lullabies every night, and I think that it's adorable. It's a trend that I actually want to keep going because this is something that will help her later on. Now, she's 5.5 years old and had some self-regulation issues like every child did between 2 and 3 years old, even into 4. She couldn't really sit still. We totally nipped that in the bud with music therapy. Now, listening to music always puts me in a good mood. A Stanford study, that's a tongue twister, shows that music engages areas of the brain which are involved with paying attention, making predictions, and updating events in our memory. But with shrinking school budgets, some kids may not get this opportunity ever. My next guest has devoted his life to making music more accessible, especially to kids. Lukas Barwinski Brown is the CEO of Lang Lang International Music Foundation, which he started in 2008 with the mission to educate, inspire, and motivate the next generation of music lovers. That's a great little intro, right? As of right now, the organization has impacted 25,670 students. That's a huge number. Now, joining me in this chat with Lukas is Kyle Wool, who is friends with Lukas, and Kyle is the president at Revere Wealth Management. Welcome to the show, boys.
Hi, how are you?
It's a pleasure to have you on, Lukas.
Yes, it's a pleasure to being on your show, and thank you so very much for inviting me.
Kyle, thank you for having him on. I know you guys are friends. I know he's a client. I know you sit on his on the board of his foundation. Now, what an incredible foundation Lang Lang is. Can you tell me, Lukas, how has the pandemic affected the foundation, and how has it changed the foundation?
Yeah, thank you very much. So, first of all, we at the foundation, we believe that all children should have access to music education, regardless of their background. And what is really very alarming that the public schools are canceling the music program across the country. And now more than 4 million children, they don't have access to the music education. And as you said, Xen, exactly, music is so important in children development. And this is something what is not only for fun, but scientists has proved that the learning the music in the very early age develop the brain of the children totally different than for the children which doesn't have any access to the music education. So they are learning better they are learning better in different science, for example, tools. And also what is very important, the kids are they are getting happier, and with our curriculum we want to make the kids learning, but in very, very happy method. So in the pandemic, of course, our schools were closed, but we have developed an app which we gave to the schools and to the children, and they can using the app and learning how to compose the music and learning also the music theory.
That's incredible. What's this app? Was there a name?
Yeah, this is we discovered this, developed this app together with the Scandinavian company, and we this play by ear, and this is something what children love it, because this is it looks like a cartoon. And you know, before the music education was so boring, and we want to change the music education system, because our book, for example, they look like the cartoons book. We developed this together with Lang Lang, and our curriculum is also, you know, learning by playing, and it has to bring the joy into the school. So now, for example, students in our program, we have like 99% of present in the classroom.
That's incredible. Those are great statistics. I mean, look, to keep music alive for children is so important. Kyle, I know that you are very into organizations, charities. You're very involved with your clients and who they are. You don't only manage money, you do so much more than that. How is, you told me about Lukas, and you said, we have to have him on. And I said, of course we do, because I love music, and I love, after checking out the Lang Lang Foundation, how has music affected your life and even in your line of work?
Yeah, I think, first of all, Lukas is a great guy, and everything that they do at the foundation is not just about helping the schools. It's really about mentoring people. They have something called the Young Scholars Program, and to meet these young children and listen to them play at SAT.MAY Hall, listen to what they do is just absolutely amazing. Like, I'm looking at a 12-year-old who's playing phenomenal music. And then we meet them when they're 18. We see them go off to college, and it's just a really rewarding thing, whether it's music or whether it's enriching these people, like Lukas said, where they can get deeper into sciences, have a higher understanding in other academics. It's just a wonderful thing. And that's why I wanted you to meet Lukas and to meet the Lang Lang Foundation and get the message out there for all the good that they're doing across the board.
That's incredible. The Lang Lang Foundation has a website, and it's Lukas, the website is the langlangfoundation.com.
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, with all of these musicians, Lukas, do you have an instrument of preference? I mean, you're surrounded by music all day.
I believe the piano is the easiest instrument to learn. I mean, easiest in of course in quotation, because every instrument is, you know, practice. But the piano is, I think, the most parents-friendly instrument, because every time when you push the key, you are getting the same sound. Can you imagine, for example, when your child is learning violin, and the just inch of switching, finger, forwards or back is different sound, different tone. So I think the piano is still. This is why we have also chosen, not only because of Lang Lang, but also because how easy is to learn and explain music theory through the piano. So this is why we chosen piano as an instrument.
I love piano. I happen to love piano, and I think Alexa's lullaby playlist is all, the baby Mozart. They're all very the tones lend themselves to that kind of sound, and she loves it. Now, Kyle, I have a question for both of you. If you both had to pick your favorite musician, who would it be? Kyle, you go first.
Well, obviously, I would have to say Lang Lang. But besides Lang Lang, I would probably say I enjoy Andrea Botticelli quite a bit. I really like his music. I think it's soothing, but yet at the same time, it's very I don't know, it takes you away to a different place, to a happy place. I enjoy it quite a bit.
That's nice. See, you surprised me. I didn't think you were going to say that. Lukas, what about you?
I will be even more diplomatic than Kyle, because although I study classical music, and and I am now in the foundation which is striving to learn the piano music to the children, my taste is very wide. I mean, this depends of the day. So I am listening to John Legend, to Lang Lang, and from Bocelli to Aretha King, Franklin. So I mean, to be honest, my really I don't have a really favorite artist. It depends on the day, I think.
I feel the same way. Depends on the day. I just go with my mood. I love anywhere from Greek music to French music to salsa to merengue. It just really depends how I wake up. I go with the weather. All right, now we have about 2 minutes left. I want to address one thing that's pretty cool. Lukas, how did you get awarded the Gold Cross of Merit by the Polish president?
Yes, I mean, my story is very long. I am the oldest one in this trio today.
In 45 seconds.
But it is for me, the music was always very important. And what more important is, I don't like the border. I don't like the genres. I don't want to put the music in the drops. So I was always going over the border. I was always putting together the classic and jazz and funk and pop. So this is, I think, what is the most important. For me, it is only good or bad music, but this is also the test. So this is why I put always the genres always together, and and I think this is the recipe for me.
And you got awarded this award because of your brilliance, I'm assuming.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Kyle, thank you so much for bringing him on. This was so much fun. You guys definitely have to check out the Lang Lang Foundation, Everything Music lovers. That's what they do. They bring inspiration to children and to the world. Thank you for joining the show, guys. And I'm so thrilled that you're doing this and continuing. You're continuing to inspire not only children, but everyone across the board, because music is truly all about, the mood.
Thank you so very much.
Yes, thanks a lot, Xen, for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You guys are listening to A Moment of Xen. I'm your host, Xen Sams, right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. We'll be right back after this.
One of the world's most recognized fashion designers is Helen Yarmak. She turned a small clothing line to an international fashion brand and is one of the few independent luxury fashion houses in the industry. Her designs for men and women are timeless and they outlast changing trends, yet they stay adaptable to your individual style. Helen's goal for her clients is to express their individual uniqueness and beauty. To learn more about her offerings, visit HelenYarmak.com or to schedule an appointment, call 212-245-0777.
Your fashion news and trend of the week is brought to you by Helen Yarmak International. Now, Naomi Campbell has some big news to share. She took to Instagram to announce the arrival of her first child, a daughter. The announcement is a birthday present of the sweetest kind, as Naomi is turning 51 in just a few days. She wrote, "A beautiful little blessing has chosen me to be her mother. In her Instagram post, she said, "I'm so honored to have this gentle soul in my life. There are no words to describe this lifelong bond that I now share with you, my angel. There is no greater love." And naturally, her post has been met with an outpouring of well wishes from her famous friends, from Kim Kardashian to Zoe Saldana, Marc Jacobs, Donatella Versace, and many others are all commenting on the post. Congratulations to the new mom. Now, on your trend of the week, I have some interesting and sexy stuff for you guys. I don't love the term birthday suit, but Megan Fox did show up to her 35th birthday party wearing a striking red pantsuit. So she made the phrase a bit difficult to avoid. She went out in Los Angeles with her boyfriend Machine Gun Kelly over the weekend and wore an Alex Perry power suit with a really sexy satin bra in lieu of a shirt. And don't forget about the matching red lipstick and Stuart Weitzman shoes. Fox and MGK have been increasingly in the spotlight since they started dating, thanks in no small part to their excellent couple style. And that has included everything from skinny jeans to coordinating trench coats. Oh, and happy birthday, Megan.
Hi, this is Sari Katz on this week's The Beauty Tip for the Moment of Xen. Did you know that by 2025, the global medical aesthetics market is projected to be at $15.9 billion? Can you imagine that? Well, what do you think is fueling that? Well, to be honest, there's a lot of medical procedures nowadays that are non-invasive that really help with aesthetic goals or cosmetic desires. For example, did you know there is now a medical injection called Quo that can help reduce cellulite? How does that work? So basically, the medication is made of collagenase, and that is an enzyme that breaks down the fibrous tissues behind the dimpling that pulls on the skin to create an actual cellulite dimple. So where is it used? Well, it was indicated for the booty. But it can also be used off-label in some other areas like on the thighs where we see cellulite dimples. Can you believe that now in 2021, we actually have ways to inject away cellulite dimples? It's incredible, right? So what else is next? Do you think one day we'll walk into a machine and push a button? Who knows? Anyway, this is Sari. You can find me at Skin by Sari on Instagram and check out your beauty tip of the weeks at A Moment of Xen.
That's a wrap, my friends. Thank you for being loyal listeners. Many of you have already texted me for collaborations, and I love it. Keep those coming. You can text collaboration or feature me to 917-575-2321. Again, that number is 917-575-2321. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 7 to 8 p.m. Or you guys can log on to 710wor.iheart.com/A Moment of Xen to watch fully uploaded episodes as of Monday morning. Remember to tune back in next Saturday at 7 p.m. I have an amazing and exciting lineup of guests. Thank you for listening to A Moment of Xen. It has been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks to all of our sponsors, Romulus Entertainment, BJ Cucina, Helen Yarmack International, and Revere Securities. And remember, happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.